kids have been messing with my little knobs here. I'm going to email you a replay to the whole thing, and so you can watch it and go into just rewind and pick up where you missed. One of the things that we don't talk about a whole lot as a business at Art Storefronts before we get into the Q&A is we also have an in-house marketing agency, and the in-house marketing agency just services our customers on a various range of marketing activities because 80% of our customer base, I would say, is we have like a little over 6,000 customers now. 80% of them have full-time jobs. They have full-time jobs, or they're service-based photographers, or they lead tours, or they teach classes. A mixed bag of things. And when you're in those scenarios, when you have a day job and you're trying to grow, the art business, and so it can potentially take over the day job or give you something to retire, whatever your goal is, it's hard to have the time, the energy, and the bandwidth to do all of the marketing yourself, right? And so the agency exists to take some of those things off your plate in like a recurring service fashion or like a one-off, right? Like if you just need help running a sale or running your Facebook or Instagram ads. And I'm so over the moon on the live art shows and how successful they are. And I've been banging the drum on these things for so long. And what's interesting is I've learned that it doesn't matter like how good our advice is, how strong our advice is on how to do them. People are terrified of getting on video. They're just absolutely terrified of it, right? Like, I don't want to be on video. I'm not comfortable on video. I don't ever want to do it. And I'm sitting here like banging the drum going like, you guys, I've never seen results like this. You guys all need to do it. Here's this amazing step-by-step guide, how to go live on Facebook, how to go live on Instagram, how to go live both at the same time. Ready, go. And I was like crickets, right? And because it's just because of the sheer terror of going into this whole process and getting it going, right? And I totally understand that. So we put a service in the agency, and I did it just as a test, and we're totally losing money on it. But for $99 a month, 1 year commitment, so it's like a $1,200 thing that they have to do, but you just pay it monthly. We will help you run the show, right? And on like a lot of the ones that I showed, and then on one of the videos I'm going to send you after, you'll hear somebody is helping with the show because we use software to connect to their Facebook page, their YouTube account, their Twitter account if they have them, and then the phone does Instagram, kind of like I showed in the video. And so we signed up 30 people. And I have one guy in my team running it, and like the workload has been crazy. We're probably gonna have to cancel it for what it is. But out of the 20 people that ran shows this last week, 7 out of the 20 didn't sell anything, and the rest, 13 out of the 20, did sell. Some of the sales were small. A couple of them were well over $1,000 on their first effort. So one of the things I'm going to share with you guys later, or is already in the, let me pull this up, is in this replay that I'm going to send you. I created a quick start guide on how to run a live art show, okay? And it's free. There's no gimmicks. I don't even ask for your email address on it. I go over at a high level why these things work, why they're so effective, how to like contemplate them at a conceptual level. Right? I give you some real customers, they're real Instagram followers and fans and Facebook page fans. You can watch portions of their shows here. You can see kind of what they sold on their first outings. You can hear them talk about it.
I just want to give everyone a little hoorah.
He's funny. The guy's got the same last name as me, so I call him my cousin. And down at the bottom of this thing, all you have to do is send me the guide, and you don't even have to do anything else. You just click the button. And literally, I've given you the quick start guide here. The equipment you need, by the way, you already all have it. You don't need anything. You need nothing, just this. The equipment you need, inventory and pricing, how to get paid, where to stream the show, the actual show, how to announce the show, what to do after, and then some bonus content too. So that will be in an email that I send to all of you guys in like a couple hours once the video is done processing and that. So on that note, I'm done with the live art show rant. Time to turn it over for Q&A. How do we handle Q&A? If you're one of the brave ones, okay, that has your camera on, all you have to do is raise your hand, and I'll see that, and I'll be like, hey, they've got a question. I can unmute you. You can come on. For everyone else, at the bottom of your Zoom window, there's this like little smiley face with a plus on it, and that pops up this thing that says raise hand, and you have the ability to raise your hand, and that lets me know, like, hey, you've got a question, and then I can unmute you and bring you on. You don't want to turn your camera on, you don't have to turn your camera on, okay? I hate being on video, so I totally get that. You can just ask via audio. A lot of times I get people multitasking at work, and they're like, I can't talk, I'm at work. And if you're one of the ones that's watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, I see your comments. Glad you're enjoying it, Robert. Thanks, Lee. And you guys can ask questions there too. So that's it. Who wants to kick it off? We always need somebody brave to do the first one. There we go. Nice, Lewis. I appreciate it. You're up first.
So hey there, how are you doing?
Good.
Thank you for the session and everybody to be here.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask. So I own a design company currently.
Okay.
And I want to transition into doing more of my own personal artwork.
Okay.
When you start that journey,
Mhm.
what do you think is the most important part of launching that transition and how you begin to do that? I mean, obviously I have work that's generated. I even have the framework for a website.
Mhm.
It's a question of how to begin the process of even getting that communication out there and building that opportunity from scratch.
Yeah, it's a great question. And is the design company, you're essentially a graphic designer? Is that kind of the nature of it? Yeah, I don't know if I have to ask you then. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's okay. No, I design theme parks.
You design theme parks?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's like dream job all day. I mean, come on. I mean, how many kids when you say you want to be designing theme parks? That's amazing. But good question, and I'll answer sort of broadly and then more tactically. One, have the perspective of how long it's going to take for you to grow the business, which is 3 to 5 years. When you plant that in your head, okay, you're giving yourself the permission to know that it's not going to take over your day job overnight, and that you have to go on this journey of marketing and growing it and building it. So I think that perspective is like so important, right? Because what all artists do and are so guilty of this is they'll and let me use Facebook ads as an example. You know what? Everyone's saying I should try this Facebook, this Instagram ad, this boosting post thing. I'm just going to run a sale, right? I'm going to run a sale and give it a shot, and we'll see what happens. And they go into it with the expectation that I'm going to put $1 in and I'm going to get $3 out. And that's not the way that it works, right? And so they go and they do that, and then they're like, no, it didn't work for me, complete failure, this must not work, and they quit. If they just did it correctly and did it for 2 years straight, the business would start turning around and going, right? So you have to have the perspective of how long it takes. Step one, other than that early on, is you need to sell your art, okay, to people not named the following: mom, dad, brother, sister, uncles, relatives, family, friends, good friends, okay? These people will lay down an oncoming traffic for you. They love you, right? Of course they'll buy things. So in non-COVID times, and it's sort of becoming true again, non-COVID times, the easiest way to do that is sack up, say, I'm going to do it, get a booth at an art fair or show, get enough inventory printed that you can go, and it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a farmer's market, it could be an actual art fair, a craft show, it could be at a brewery, right? It could be at the theme park parking lot for all I care. It doesn't matter, but you need to get into a booth, have your creations there, talk to strangers, and see if you can sell your work. If you can sell your work, okay, then you move into phase 2, which is now you have a marketing problem. But at least you know you have a product that the market wants, right? And that's the easiest way to do it. But if you have a big social following, you can grab a couple of pieces of work, turn the camera on, go live on whatever the biggest network you have, and say, hey guys, I'm launching my art business. I've always wanted to do this. Here's the pieces that I have on offer. Talk about them. Talk about your inspiration. See if you can sell any of them. So have you attempted to sell to anyone not named mom, dad, brother, sister, family, friends? And it's okay. There's no wrong answer to that. I have to find where your hand went down. So now I lost you in my little queue. Hold on. Okay, I'm unmuting you again.
Yeah, no. I haven't even tried yet. Everybody who comes, so I started my business 10 years ago. So
okay.
I totally understand what you're talking about kind of grinding that process out.
Yeah.
And everybody who comes here and sees the work that I do outside of what we do professionally keep asking me to sell it, but I just haven't yet.
Okay, so just one quick tweak. When they ask you to sell it, I want you to respond with, I take checks, cash, Venmo, PayPal. I've got Square, Apple Pay. Which one do you want? Everything must go, and shut up and see what they say, right? You'll never know whether or not they're just being nice and polite until you go for the jugular on the sales. It's an important lesson. You'd be surprised. Really important. Always just say, cool, make me an offer. If you don't have a price in mind, or say, that one's $350. Do you want it? And then it's hard. It's hard to do, I know. And then you just have to shut up and see what they say. Well, okay, no worries. Make me an offer. And then see what they have to say. And then you get to the bottom of whether or not they're just being decent or whether it actually sells, right? And it's it is such a critical thing to do. You have to complete this step before you get into everything else, because otherwise you might spend all this time, energy, and effort marketing something that doesn't have a market for it, right? And you won't know until you go for it.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's it. Stay laser focused on that. You're good to go. Okay, who else? I feel like the last 2 days, people have just been super shy. I think it's the silly sunglasses I'm wearing inside. The only ones I can pick on are the ones that have their cameras on. So, Peter, Adam. All right. I appreciate it, Adam. I appreciate it.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Oh, living the dream. Slightly sarcastic.
Yep. I love it.
As you can see over my shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
it's one of my many pieces.
Okay.
This particular piece happens to be shallow. As I've shared with you in the past, I do a very broad range of work.
Yep.
From very physical, i.e. 4 inches thick, to
Mm-hmm.
images that can be reproduced on clothing.
Yep.
I do not, and I mean this implicitly, like being on video. I've been in commercials.
Mm-hmm.
I've done stuff. It's just not the nature of the beast. You
Okay.
like my art, you don't like my art. You pay my price, there's no negotiation. Okay. And I've had a problem with that. I've been called arrogant, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 35 years out with a master's degree in painting. I'm tired of it. Okay.
Yep.
Just truly tired of it. You like my art, you pay my price, otherwise, bye-bye. That's simple. So it's antithetical to what you're sharing. Just wondering.
Well, how's it all working out for you?
How's it working out for me? I'm waiting for an investment for my high fashion sneakers and the farm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm playing the game my way, or I'm not going to play it. It's that simple.
I think there's a tremendous amount of integrity in that. I really do. I think in terms of like negotiation, and it's like my price or not, the only 2 brands that I'm aware of, and ironically enough, they're now one brand because Louis Vuitton bought Tiffany's, but our Louis Vuitton and Tiffany's, they don't ever have sales. Ever. The prices are the prices. They don't discount, period, never have, right? In my experience, the higher the price, the art, the more the negotiation there is. Especially the higher buyers, right? People that are paying 50, 60, 70, hundreds, multiple 6 figures, millions. They didn't get to that level of wealth by paying retail for anything ever, and they don't.
I understand it. My paintings range in price, obviously, depending on the technique.
Yeah.
And the scale. My textured work, I don't remember if I shared with you in the past. The 4-inch thick ones. Material alone for 2 foot by 2 foot is $400.
Yeah.
Material, not overhead, not my time, just material. If I charge $5,000, the look I get, are you crazy? But a major gallery in New York City begged me to move up years ago to play the Art World game. I used that wonderful line from Jerry Maguire. Show me the money.
Yep.
You're the marketeer, I'm the artist. You're reacting to this on a visceral level, and I want to do grand scale work to envelop the viewer. All of us who are on here have various degrees of experiences similar yet different than mine. I don't need my ego stroked at this point. Most of these people don't need their ego stroked. They need a support system that empowers them. Part of what you're doing does that. And everybody reacts differently, obviously, from their educational background to their life's experiences.
Okay.
No right or wrong. I just find the process of marketing art antithetical.
No, you're not the only one. I mean, look, almost if I interviewed or I polled or I surveyed 99 or 100 artists or 100 photographers, 99 out of 100 would say All I want to do is just get in my studio and create. And then I want to have someone else handle all the business, all the marketing, right? That's what everyone says. And what I've come to find out is the thing that you want to do least is the highest leverage thing that you could possibly do in the business. It's almost always true. And that's the way that it works. And like, look, there is a model for that desire. And it is utterly, totally, and completely exploitative. And it is the gallery model, a 50-50 revenue split, and not knowing who's purchasing your work such that you can market to them in the future works. It works for less, and like especially at high revenue levels, less than 0.1% of total artists out there. It just doesn't work. It is an exploitative tenant-farmer relationship. And that's the only one that exists that I know where you don't have to do any marketing. You don't have to try to grow the business yourself. It's not going to grow on its own.
No, I completely understand that, but the time and energy that I have to take away from, or we have to take away from the creative process is contrary. I have enough designs. I'm not talking fine art.
Yeah.
I have plenty of that. Designs like what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
That it can be reproduced literally on anything you can imagine.
Of course.
It boils down to capitalization, inventory, and marketing, and having a team around you and not being completely dependent upon oneself 24/7, 365.
Yep. So that's where you want to go. How are you going to get there?
Well, if my funding comes, I have nothing to worry about. If it doesn't, it's like a dog chasing his tail.
Yep.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul to be creative and make ends meet.
Yep. The life of the starving artist, right?
Well, I spend my money, my extra money on making samples, getting stopped all the time. I sat, and I don't know if I shared this with you the last time you and I spoke. I sat with the president of Jones in New York. She looked at me and said, I don't know what to say. One, you're talented. B, you're grounded. C, you aren't branded. And you're sitting on an empire. And that's just the clothing.
Yep. Why isn't it there yet is the question, right? Like, where's the disconnect?
You know that. It's money, bro.
Yeah.
We're all here because we're looking for a way to generate money from what we love. And you're here because you want to try to help us.
That's correct. So how can I help you other than the obvious is the question. The one thing I will say is I like that you're doing merch and you're doing other products, right? Because not everyone is ready to buy wall art all the time.
No, I mean, my stuff is wearable, not just the stuff behind me.
Yeah.
I mean, it truly is. I mean, you can go to my Facebook page. You'll be blown away if you haven't. I mean, it truly is.
Awesome.
And that's the frustrating thing, taking it from where it is here to a higher end version of what I'm wearing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you walk into a Neiman's, Nordstrom's, or a store other than, you're just blown away.
No game on.
But it again boils down to capitalization. Ask all the other people. You have hundreds of clients, thousands of clients. You've talked to hundreds or thousands of artists.
Yeah.
Yep. You see the angst. This didn't come overnight. Nor did the wrinkles in the brow.
No, it doesn't. It takes time.
No, yeah. Like I said, you take a moment and explore my Facebook. Get back to me, and you'll be blown away, man. Beside the politics.
See, that's the thing, though. Like, right? If you take a moment to explore my Facebook, if I ran my marketing department under the auspices, if you take a moment to come check out how sweet I am, it would be crickets, right? In today's day and age, attention is the commodity of the land. If you're not going out and getting it, it's not happening.
Yeah, but part of my conundrum again is if I want to go high end and I start marketing the schlock that I'm wearing right now, it comes back and bites me in the ass. So again, I'm in this lovely circle of how we market what I have behind me and reproducing it where I'm happy as an artist that I can say to you or to any viewer that is looking at my art, this is going to be a commodity. Are you buying it just for a piece of art on your wall? Or are you making an investment that's going to last an eternity and appreciate in value?
Okay? Are you going to sign up, Adam, so we can help you?
Money, brother, money.
Yeah.
Yeah, my funding for the business comes, we can sit and talk, and I have a whole separate person talking to you, and I don't need the deal.
All right.
Other than getting in front of the camera and doing song and dance.
All right.
Yeah, my see, and part of my,
We'll get into it. We'll get into it. We'll get into
you
it.
know,
Do this, Adam. Email me your Facebook page, and I will commit to actually checking it out or put it in the chat.
Okay.
All right.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
All right, Carolyn, I think you had your hand up, yeah? Got you next. Yeah, you'll have to unmute, Carolyn. It's bottom left-hand corner. Yep.
There we go.
Gotcha.
Okay. I just wondered, do you need to have, like, I like to do landscapes, I like to do animals, I like to do flowers.
Yeah, the niche
all kinds of
question.
different-
No, you don't. There is no one size fits all playbook, right? And I would say, like, one of the most common things that, number one, paralyzes artists from taking any next steps. But number two, I feel like it's the most common piece of advice that an artist or a photographer will get from friends from other walks of life that have had success in business. Like, if you don't pick a niche, you'll never make it, right?
Yes,
It's like that. That's
that
like
was
the
what someone
advice.
told me.
Yeah, that's the advice everyone gets at a coffee shop. Trust me, I've been doing this a long time. I know. And what I've seen in my experience over the course of years and years and years and customers is total mixed bag. Total mixed bag. There are people that do a combination of absolutely everything, right? Artists, photographers, crafts, jewelry, this, that, the other. There are people that are all in, laser focused on one niche, and there's everyone in between. Now, it could go any which way for you, but what happens is that I'll get started when I figure out what my niche is, right? Step one. And then step two, there's no plan, there's no course of action, nothing ever happens, right? So you put all of that stuff up on the site, you start marketing all of that stuff, and you stay at it for a year and you see what happens. And a total mixed bag of results will happen. You will either have the emergence of Pareto's law. It's called the 80-20 law, meaning you've got all your different styles up there and 20% of them are accounting for 80% of your revenue. If we get into that situation, then I'm gonna have to be like, Carolyn, at the year, I think the market is telling you what your niche is, right? Because this is what it was. It was, most of your revenues coming here. I think we should drop that other stuff off and go all in on this. In some cases, though, it's a total mixed bag. A little sells here, a little sells there, a little bit of everything sells, in which case, keep it on. Just keep growing the business, right? Keep doing the marketing. But you'll never know until you start doing the marketing and get in front of enough eyeballs to actually find out which one's going to be the winner, right? Or if at all. So you don't stress about it early on. You get marketing, you start getting some attention, and you find out.
And the other question I had was, I forget now. Shoot, should write it down. Okay, so I can sing and dance because I'm a teacher. Yeah, at heart. I don't have a problem going, woo, look at this, look at this.
Awesome.
My issue is the technology. I can Facebook, and I'm old and gray. To do the rest, like, I can't figure out Instagram. I can't. Is that where your business helps?
Yeah. We teach you all that stuff step by step, 100%.
So that's my question. Okay.
Yeah.
And I just may have to wait till I get some funds to do it, because I kind of heard the cost is what is the cost to get in, and then per month?
Yeah. Some other people are asking that question too. So
okay.
everyone sort of compares us to, all the other website solutions out there, right? And yes, we do offer a website. Yes, it's best in class. Yes, it's the best in the industry, quite frankly. It's got all the bells, the whistles, the thises, the that's. And we charge a monthly fee for the website. Problem, though, no one on this call has a website problem. If I was the genie in the lamp and I just came out of the lamp and I said, Carolyn, I will put your website wherever you want, to any company you want, snap of the fingers, it's done. Do you know what changes in your business? Absolutely nothing, because no one's coming to the website, right? So we sort of realized early on that we'll be out of business if we just try to sell website software. There's no business there, because everyone will just keep canceling because they're not getting any success. You have to solve the true problem. And so, yes, we're a website company, but we are also, the easiest way to describe it is a postgraduate university that teaches art and photography, business, and marketing. And it never stops. It never stops. And we do that with like a whole different range of services. We have the best DIY education that exists for marketing, art, and photography, full stop, on the internet. How to run a sale, how to go live on Instagram, right? How to capture email subscribers, the best playbook, step-by-step directions for how to run a live art show, how to implement QR codes, all that stuff, learning your own pace. Then we have anywhere from 3 to 7 workshops a week internally, just like this, for our customers, where we teach the topic, where people will raise their hands just like we're doing now, ask questions about the various different things, and you're learning with your peers on these various different things. We have incredible support. It comes via chat tickets and phone calls, in a Facebook group that we have just for our customers where they all interact. And in addition to that, we have the in-house marketing agency. And so sometimes you just want some extra horsepower behind your efforts. And so you go and avail yourself of the agency services. All of that collectively sort of becomes like, it's a postgraduate university. I don't know any other way to explain it. That's totally what it is. And so how we charge is we charge a one-time fee to get into the university. You pay it once, you don't ever pay it again. And then we charge a monthly fee for the websites. So the one-time fee to get in starts at $999, and the monthly fees, I think, are $49 on the lowest plan, or maybe $39. So that's sort of where we are in pricing. And, you know, we get people all the time like, oh my gosh, you know, that's so expensive. It's like, let me ask you if any of this sounds true. You try one website, business doesn't go anywhere. Then you try another website, business doesn't go anywhere. And then you build your own website, business doesn't go anywhere. Then you throw all your stuff up on a marketplace, right? Saatchi, Fine Art, Redbubble, Etsy, eBay, any of them. Business doesn't go anywhere, right? You have to solve the problem. And so that's what we help artists do. We help them solve the problem to actually get the business going. Got it. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah. And it's not an easy problem, not an easy problem to solve, and it takes time, right? It takes time. Yeah. So Suzanne's asking how much does it cost to do all the work? We have a whole bunch of different packages and plans, Suzanne. I'm going to try and unmute you. I know you keep. Let me see if I can find you, because it'll be easier for me to field your questions, and you're going to have some follow-ups. So,
Hi.
hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure can. So,
Hi.
you know, I run the marketing department, right? And so my goal, on some level, I totally wished that we didn't even have the in-house marketing agency, because to me, like, you know, to the marketing guy, it's like, you know, how to the hammer, everything looks like a nail. I want you to learn how to be a competent marketer, right? I feel like fundamentally it's the biggest leverage in your business. But I've gotten to the point where I'm not naive enough to think that, you know, you guys need help, right? You need help. Some of this stuff is challenging. You don't want to do it. The way to get the most ROI out of that service, though, Suzanne, is not look at it as, oh, great, I'm hiring this service and they're going to do everything for me, right? So I don't have to do anything. It's, okay, great, these guys are going to help me, but I'm going to do a little marketing stuff, you know, some of the videos, some of the sales, and putting myself out there.
That part I like,
Yeah.
as far as, you know, being hands-on with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I am so busy
Yeah.
creating so much work right now, not just of my own, but another company that I'm working with. And I'm looking for some company to help actually do that. If I hand files over and they could lay it out and I approve it, sort of like hiring an ad agency. Do you do that?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so do I email you and find out your rates that way, or?
So we do the demo process. It's essentially, you know, this session, the subtext of this session is, do these people know what the hell they're talking about, and do I feel like I can trust them, right? So that's why we have this session. Like, hey, we actually know what we're doing. Here's what we present. So the next step is you can request a demo. You don't need to do it because we already have your information. If you want, I'll have somebody reach out. But it's another Zoom call like this, an hour, just one-on-one, where they walk you through all the software, all the services, all the pricing, all the stuff in the back end, how everything works, and then you can make your mind up.
Great. Okay, I'll look forward to that. Thanks.
Awesome. Just out of curiosity, so you're creating a bunch of stuff. How are you selling it all right now?
I'll talk to you in private about that.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, Suzanne. Okay, and so Jeffrey's asking. Jeffrey, I'm gonna unmute you too, because I don't totally understand your question. So what are you asking exactly? Like, if you're gonna hire an assistant or an intern to try to do all the marketing for you? Was that kind of what you had in mind? And you'll need to unmute Jeffrey if you want to do follow up. Oh, I think you had it for a second and then it went away. It's mic icon bottom left. Yeah, now I got you.
Okay. So I'm like the last person you talked to. I'm busy creating and taking care of the physical structure and everything else. So if I have interns or I hire a videographer or a social media expert, can they access my account? Or are you going to say, oh, no, that's too many users?
No, of course you can. So
they could set in on
yes.
I mean, not what we're doing now, but on the
Yes,
sessions,
100%.
and they'll be able to,
100%.
so I can be painting and doing whatever else I need to do.
100%. What I would say,
Okay.
what I would say though, is the danger in that approach is not necessarily in doing it, but the danger in the approach is not starting with the correct parameters in mind. And everyone that works on my team, they'll all tell you the same thing about the hiring process. It's like, when I hire them, I'm like, I want you to commit to 3 to 5 years. If you just want to be here for a year, this is not the job for you. And the reason I say that is because the nuances of this business, how you do all the various different this, that's, and the others, that intern or whoever you hire will really only seriously become massively valuable to you years 2, years 3, years 4. That's when you just like start cooking with gas insane. Like, they know the whole sales process. They know the whole social process. They're helping you on the live art shows. They know how to do all of that. And so what everyone ends up doing is hiring an intern, right? Or hiring an overseas admin, or however they do it, or some college kid, and they give it like 6 to 9 months, and they're like, yeah, they're trying to figure it out. They're sort of figuring out. They're a little bit of help, but it's not working, and they quit, right? And if I interviewed the last 20 people that did that, 18 no longer have that person working for them and said it didn't work. So I think that's a really just important framework to have on it, that has the potential to make a huge difference if you go that route. If you don't go that route, the agency you can hire too. So it's up to you. But we have, husband-wife combos where the wife is the artist and the husband is the one doing all the marketing. So he's the one in all the sessions, and doing the office hours, we call them, and learning and all the rest. As well as, we have some that are super established artists that just, they're not doing any marketing themselves at all. And so they have full-time hires that are on the sessions that do everything. So totally up to you.
Thanks.
Yeah, my pleasure. But at the end of the day, it's still better. I mean, I know you guys all want to create, but I'm telling you, you still have to do a little bit of the work. You have to do a little bit of the work yourself, right? Always, like it never stops. Yeah. Yeah, Lewis, there's not so much like Lewis is asking in the chat, what's the biggest mistake you recommend to avoid? I told you the most important. I wouldn't even freak you out with anything other than that. Like, you constantly need to be selling, right? Actually, I'll show you. So this will be kind of a fun exercise, and you guys aren't asking a ton of questions, and so I want to show you this. So one of the things that I think that we've done really, really well as a business up till now, okay, is have really, really good advice on how to build an art or photography business. Where I think we failed is, not failed, but where we could have done better is saying not all artists and photographers are in the same spot in their business, okay? Everyone's at a different spot depending on where they are in their journey. And so our job is not to say, here's the one-size-fits-all plan, go, right? But ours is to say, okay, we are going to audit where you are, and according to best practices, we're going to tell you what to work on right now, okay? What is the most important thing that you need to be working on right now? And this is the newest change. And you could essentially think of this as a business plan, a business plan that employs, number one, the best business techniques, but number two, a business plan that is custom tailored for the realities of today's internet and today's selling world, okay? We call it the Marketing Assistant Lite. And the idea is that you have to go through this step by step, okay? If you don't go through this step by step, you are likely wasting your time because you will never get the sum ROI in totality. ROI is return on investment of all your marketing activities if you don't have it. And so I have a long version of this and the short version. I'm going to do the short version, okay? Step number one, is your website live? Obviously, that's the no-brainer, right? You need to have a website, and we have this whole technical audit and everything that we do. So if your website is not live, we help you get your website live, whether you pay us to do it or you do it yourself. Next question, does your website meet best practices? What are best practices? If the answer to this is no, you need to have price points under $100. You need to have price points from $100 to $1,000. You need to have price points above $1,000, okay? You need to have a combination of open editions, limited editions, and originals. You need to activate merchandise, okay? There's some flexibility on which ones you choose. You need to turn on order bumps and one-click upsells. What these are essentially is, I come to your site, I put an item in my cart, right before I enter my credit card information, do you want to add such and such to your order for an additional $40? Then the transaction finishes, and you end up on a page that says, thank you for your order, I can't wait to ship it to you. By the way, do you want to add such and such to your order? Easy way to think about this You know when we're at the grocery store or the hardware store or the electronics store and they're snaking us through that aisle of tchotchke, or if it's the grocery store, there's all the magazines and the coffee and the cookies and the candy. The reason they have those there is because the easiest time to get an additional sale is when a sale is about to go down, okay? And it raises the AOV across the board for the business. Hugely important thing. You need to be taking commissions on your work, okay? Whether you have any intention of actually doing the commissions or not, the art of being open to commissions gives you the opportunity to have people that are holding their credit card above their head or holding their money saying, I really, really want this. Will you just create this? And it helps spur ideas of what future potential subject matter materials that you can go into. Okay. Website best practices. Once that's sorted, does your social media profile meet best practices? And if it doesn't, there's design issues, there's low follower issues, and then are there enough posts to look credible? The social media sites, Instagram primarily, Facebook secondarily, are sort of the credit check for artists, right? There are the Amazon reviews for artists. And if you don't have anything on your social media sites and you don't have a minimum credibility gap of followers, and we have it at 250, it's hard to put a number on it, but that's what we put. If you don't have a range of posts on there that make you look credible, what ends up happening is you do marketing, people get into your ecosystem, they're like, wow, that's really a cool piece. However they saw it, they either find you on social or they follow you on social, and then they get to your social media profile and there's nothing there. You have no followers. And so instantaneously you lose credibility. We think that plays a massive impact in sales. We're not the only ones. If you look at the Art Basel report that I mentioned in the video that I'll send you, or if you go to the Hiscox report, they survey the top art buyers in the entire world, people that buy pieces over $100,000. And year over year over year, they survey those folks and they say, what, if any, impact did social media have in your purchase? And the percentage of those high net worth buyers that are constantly saying social has just gone up year after year after year. These are two massively visually driven platforms, okay? And if you're not on them and you don't look serious on them, you are going to miss out on sales. It is just a fact. Once that's done, then we ask whether or not you have MVT, okay? It's a startup buzzword, but we call it minimum viable traction. And you can see we have 1,000 in total sales down there. Again, it's very difficult to have a one-size-fits-all number. It could be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. But the question it's attempting to ask is, how much art have you sold? How much photography have you sold in the last 12 calendar months? If it's not over a couple $1,000s, then we're not completely sure that you have a product that the market wants, right? And we're not completely sure that you have a product that you can just spend your time marketing and that will take you to the heights that you want the business to go. And so that's really a question that you need to answer. And there are some subjective aspects to it, but that's MVT. So if you don't have it, okay, and I would say too on this one, and I realize that this is like an in-depth map and it's new concepts, there are some people that sold $30,000 of art in the last year, and they've been with us for 3 or 4 years. And we don't believe that they have minimum viable traction. And the reason is because they're grinding so hard and their aspiration for that business is 150 a year, 200 a year. And because it's stuck at 30, the subject material, maybe they're in a tiny little market, right? I have one of my customers, and I love this gal. She paints clotheslines with clothes on it, right? And while the art is beautiful, I don't know if the addressable market is big enough on that type of work to get the business where she wants it to go, right? So she doesn't have minimum viable traction. So what do we have to do next? Sometimes this little thing derps out and doesn't stop it. Okay, there we go. So next, we're trying to figure out whether or not you have minimum viable traction. Okay, do you have the minimum viable audience? We have to ask that question. And again, all numbers are not created equal, but do you have 250 email addresses? Do you have 250 on one social platform? That's enough to attempt to try and sell a couple $1,000s worth of art. If you don't have that, we have to help you get that, right? And we do lead generation and teach you how to do this. It's increased giveaway tests and charity partnerships and a whole bunch of other different things that we do, and to try and get you this minimum viable audience. And all the minimum viable audience is, you could do this with no social followers whatsoever. You could book yourself into 10 or 12 shows, right? Follow a little craft and thayer circuit, pick a couple cities that you can drive to and do a show. You could get there just as quickly and figure out, do you have minimum viable traction, right? And while I'm up here, you can see if you do have minimum viable traction, the answer is yes. You're just going right into our art marketing calendar. We have a calendar that tells you what to do 365 days a year in terms of marketing. Everyone follows it. Some customers less so than others. The more sophisticated you get, if you're so inclined, you can follow it less. Pretty much everyone follows it. And The reason that you follow it is because you know you have a product that the market wants. You have a business that will grow year over year over year over year. All you need to do is get more eyeballs and attention, right? If you don't have a minimum viable audience, we do lead generation. If you do, we instantaneously put you into a 30-day rapid test, okay? And because you have open editions, because you have limited editions, because you have originals, because you have merch, you can do this 30-day rapid test, which is one day you might be having a flash sale on coasters, and then you might have a live art show on originals, and then the next week you might have a flash sale on open editions, right? We have a whole bunch of different things that we run in there. And all we're trying to see is, can we get you to MVT? Can we get you to a couple $1,000s in sales? If we can't, then we go into the execute the subject matter testing playbook, meaning, you, Lewis, and I'll direct it back to you. You have given it a shot. It doesn't seem like it's resonating, the work, right? It's not selling and mapping to your expectations. No one's saying you're a crappy artist. All we're saying is that the product that you've taken to market, okay, it doesn't look like it's working, so we have to try something new. And this is another one of the things that absolutely kills and deflates artists and photographers everywhere. And you instantaneously either go into self-criticism mode or blame mode. Self-criticism, maybe I'm just not that good. Maybe art doesn't sell. Maybe I should have listened to my mother and this was always going to be a hobby and I've gotten a real job, right? To people just aren't buying art. People don't appreciate art. The internet has ruined art. Everyone's downloading art illegally, like all these other nonsense, questions. To which I reply, Pablo Picasso, when he died, had 45,000 unsold works in his inventory. 45,000, okay? That guy could have sold a piece of Kleenex with his name on it for $1 million when he died. How could he possibly have had 45,000 unsold works in his inventory? And I'll tell you, because this is what no one ever talks about. Pablo Picasso understood the game was archery. It's about how many arrows you can fire, okay? And he was in the backyard with the archery target, and some of those arrows went over into the neighbor's yard. He didn't care. He pulled out another one and fired again. And that is the only way that you actually figure it out and you make it, right? But no one ever talks about that. No one ever talks about you have the freedom to experiment around with these various different subject materials until you figure out one that really resonates and hits a home run. And Picasso did it. And I noticed, like, some of my most successful customers, they have this innately built into their DNA where they're constantly trying new subject materials. And I realized the genius of it, right? The genius of it is no different than me as a marketing person, okay? I will write ad A, I'll pick an image, the copy, the subcopy, and then I'll write ad B, okay? And I'll run both of them at the same time. After enough time has passed, and I know statistically significant which one won, I will drop the loser, write another one, and up it goes and start testing again. And I don't ever stop doing that. I don't ever stop doing that, because what that allows me to do is constantly looking for something that is going to do better than what I already have, right? And it's just a fantastic thing to do. Now, I mean, do I have some artists that are utterly, totally, and completely seasoned? And, I'm thinking about the one gal in particular. She does none of this, right? She does none of this, but she also sells $275,000 a year. And the aspiration for her business is about $200,000 a year. So she's ahead by half. And so she's like, I don't care. I don't have to do it. But some of my other most successful ones never stop testing the new stuff. I mean, I think of a photographer that, and you'll appreciate this one, Carolyn, that he lives in like the Twin Cities area. And his jam was like sort of gritty industrial night photography of like the bridges and like infrastructure. And he actually did a pretty good job. He had that business humming. Turns out this guy also had a passion going into theme parks that might, and theme parks, now it's back to Lewis, theme parks that might or might not have something to do with the mouse, okay? And so he goes into these theme parks that might or might not have something to do with a mouse, sets up his camera on the tripod, takes these beautiful photos of the rides, and now he's got the bridge stuff and he's got the theme park stuff. And the theme park stuff is outselling the other one 7-1. And by the way, completely sanctioned by the mouse people. They don't care. They actually like it. They think it's advertising, which apparently there's like a whole, I'm going down a side tangent, doesn't matter. But my point is, he's got both of these things on the same website. And he just quit his job. He was a restaurant manager. He just quit his job because now, and I told him not to quit his damn job. I was like, keep your job for another 3 to 5 years so you can keep investing back in the business. But he didn't listen. He quit, and the business just keeps going and going and going. And he has, how are you going to reconcile those two styles, Carolyn? Bridge and tunnel stuff versus the mouse, right? Like that's not even close. Those are not the same buyers. They couldn't be, right? And yet he's totally getting away with it and doing it. And you know, he hasn't gone all in on one or the other. He's just doing both, and it's working for him. So I have like 1,000 stories like that. This is just, there's just no one size fits all roadmap in this gig. So that's what I'd say. That was a long rant, I know. So Juju's asking, how does one negotiate finding a gallery with having an online store? Is there usually some negotiating that has to go on? I don't think you should find online gallery. Juju, I'm going to try to unmute you. I think you're the first person I've actually talked to that has the name Juju too. Dig that name. I don't know if maybe you can't unmute Juju. Are you there? And you would just need to hit the mic icon if you want to come on. Oh, I think we're going to get you. It's in the bottom left-hand corner, Juju. Selling works on my own website. Okay, I don't know if you can or can't come on. I think what you're asking me in spirit is, you know, you're trying to get into a gallery. You want to get into a gallery, and you're worried about if you're going to get into a gallery. Most galleries don't like people selling their work online. One, I would tell you, I don't think you should get into galleries as a primary focus. I think it should be a secondary focus or a tertiary focus. But there's always ways to negotiate all of it, right? And the way to negotiate is, if it's a really good gallery and it's doing really, really well for you and you really, really want to get in there, do you know what you do? You walk into the gallery owner and you say, hey, I know I've got my own website and I know I'm selling direct, but because you're letting me in this gallery, I'll tell you what I'll do. Same 50-50 revenue split on all the sales that go down on my website. And you know what they'll do? They'll go, I'll take that, right? And there you are. You're done. Now, that's one way to play it. Yet another way to play it would be to say, like, look, you know, once you start generating any income whatsoever, I'll pull everything down from my site. But the reality is that the gallery owners, especially now, being that half of them went out of business during COVID, if you thought they had the power before, good Lord, do they have the power now? Because standing right behind you, Juju, are another 150 artists that want to get into that gallery, right? And so the gallery can just say, no, I'm not going to take that deal. Don't care. Take the website down if you want to stand a chance. So you negotiate on a case-by-case basis. That's sort of the easiest way to ask the question. Yeah, cool, Lewis. Well, we can have somebody reach out to you if you like. It's no problem there. You're welcome, Juju. And I really do dig that name, Juju Ishmael. It's a great name. I'm actually really curious where you're from with that name, Juju. And Suzanne, you have my direct email because I email all the stuff. I email the thing afterwards. You just have to reply to the email. I'll see it. On that note, I love the idea. I love you saying that you like that podcast, Christine. I'm going to unmute you, Christine, because I think this is a good question too. You'll just need to hit the mic icon. Yep, gotcha. Will you just rephrase the question so everyone can hear it?
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of POD, print on demand, but I just feel like, you know, the times I've sent a few pieces in or sent my digital to a few companies, they came out like just the quality wasn't good. And maybe because I do mixed media and some of the texture, I'm not sure, but I have never liked any. I don't like my own prints that I've tried to make at home. So
Gotcha.
Yeah. I guess that's my question. Like, is it because of the ones I use? There's got to be some out there that have good quality, but I don't trust that process.
Yeah, it could be. I think, again, you know, I've done this for a long time now, right? So I've heard everything under the sun. And so I would say two fronts. One, getting the quality the way that you want is totally a solvable process, right? We work with some of the biggest print houses in the world. It's just not a problem for our customers, period. It just doesn't come up. Like, because they're so good at what they do, every once in a while, you know, certain artists, sometimes the art that they do doesn't look good on a media type, might not look good on metal, might not look good on acrylic. And so they just can't offer that, or might not look good on wood. There's those situations that come up. But getting print on demand products that the artist is happy with, if I like polled my 6,500 customers right now and said, how many of you are having this issue? I'd get like 3 responses. It's like that's how much of a non-issue it is. And that's just a data point. So don't worry about that part.
I know. I feel like
the
other
though,
artists don't have issues with it, and I do. I don't know.
The other part, Christine, okay, which I think is at play here, is the critical eye. at which artists inspect prints is crazy. Okay. You look at those things, and if one pixel is out of place or one color shade is even one Pantone color off, you're like, oh my gosh, this thing, there's no way I'll never allow it out the door. You have to get over that. You want to know why? Because your buyers will never know. They will never look at it with the same level of discernment. It is not an issue they care about on the art at all, not one iota. And it just does not come up. And you get hung up on those things, and it like paralyzes you from doing anything, right? Like you're not offering all these prints, which you need to be offering because it's going to give you all the price points like I showed on my map.
Yeah, I haven't been able to offer any prints.
Yeah, you have to do it. It's so important to do. It's like when you have the prints, you can raise the prices on the originals. And, you know, everyone's buyers fall into the socioeconomic bell curve, right? And I just realized I'm not sharing you. Okay. So low income folks, socioeconomic status, lower middle class, upper middle class, high net worth individuals, right? And when I showed my map, what no one realizes is that if you don't have price points for each of these folks, you are missing out on sales, okay? And the low end ones are just as important as the high end ones, right? And so the prints, and also secondarily the merchandise, gives you these abilities to have these price points to service everyone on that socioeconomic bell curve. And when you have the right perspective for this business, which means you're going to be doing this for the next 40 years of your life minimum, you realize that, like, one, the socioeconomic bell curve is not fixed, okay? Are you going to make tons of money selling calendars or mugs or iPhone cases or yoga mats or whatever that you like out of that whole selection? No, you're not. But do you know what it is? For me, for a marketer, it's so easy to see because we spend so much money on Facebook and Instagrams to try to get your attention on ads. Costs money, right? You get a calendar on somebody's wall, and for me, that's effectively like stapling a Facebook ad into someone's kitchen for an entire year. Do you know how hard to do that is? I can't do that any other way. When you get these lower priced items, okay, into your customers' hands, who that's what they can do right now. That's what they can afford. That's what they need right now. They don't need anything on their wall. But because you sold them a tote bag and they take it every time they go to the beach, or they put the dog stuff in it, whatever it is, the next thing you know, 3 years from now, they're ready to buy art because you sold that damn thing. You are top of mind and have been for the last 3 years without having to do anything additional, right? So it's so important to have those, and it's so important to have the prints. So we got to just get you up and over that hump. You know, any which way you want to do it, combination of carrot, stick, encouragement, screaming and kicking all the way there. Once you get past it, you'll just be like, oh, he was so right. He was so right.
Are you guys printing your own stuff, or are you using print companies?
So we have one on the West Coast, one on the East Coast, not ours. The one on the West Coast is Bay Photo. You can Google them. They're a huge company, mega reputable. The one on the East Coast is another one called Graphic.
I think I've heard of that, actually.
Yeah, called Graphic Dimensions. You know, the dirty little secret about printing in today's day and age is the CEO and I just recorded an epic episode on POD. Did you say you heard it? The POD episode? No, but did you hear the POD podcast episode that the CEO?
Yeah, that
was good, huh? Yeah, it was good. But where I get in trouble, and I can say this, he can't say this because he'll piss off his ex-business partners and everything else. But having watched the entire evolution myself, like I had one of the very first G-Clay printers that ever came out, right? One of the really, really early options. Back then, there was truly an art and science to the printing. Now, because everything has been commoditized in the sense that everyone uses the same monitors, okay? Color correct, snap. Everyone uses the same color correction devices. They all buy the same printers. They all buy the same inks. And then they all buy the same media types, right? So from print shop to print shop, the expertise is really just in the production, the not wasting media and keeping the machines running and getting big enough such that you can have the lower margins. But there's not anything really, really special to make a better print that you know, you used to use one shop. The differentiation is really only the prices and the service. So you could, it's just, you know, and they yell at me when I do this. I had one guy that just on YouTube just lit me up, but I was like, come on here and let's talk about it. So point is, it's done. It's settled science. You can do this. You need to do this. You need to get past it. You will have much better price offerings. We can totally help you do this. I think you should sign up. That's my sales pitch.
Okay.
Okay. Good. And one of the fun things that we just did is the one right over your shoulder. Is that yours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them.
So one of the fun things that we do, and I can just tell yours fits it great already.
That one.
Last week we had our customers run the bathroom art flash sale. Never heard of anything like that before in your lives, have you? You have
Only from you guys.
You have a bunch. You know what is one room? Okay, that we all have either one or multiple of in our house that likely needs more art. It's the bathroom, right? What room do we have in our house where the wall spaces are so incredibly tiny, right, that you can barely get anything on the bathroom? And then when you prompt and prime your potential customers, I'm having a bathroom art flash sale, right? You can even get funny with it. Like, come to my bathroom art flash sale. Last thing I want you to do is have a shitty time, right? You can get do the potty humor and everything else if you're so inclined, but most don't. But because the pieces are small, the prices are small, right? And so it's a great entry level point. And because there's multiple walls, and usually around the toilet, guess what sells really, really well in bathroom? Series of 1 to 3, right? And so when you target a sale directly into the bathroom, and again, show the piece over the corner, like that is the perfect size right there. That one is done. That white frame one back there is done, right? And not only is it framed, it's got glass on it, so you don't have to worry about the steam damaging the print, right? Which you're now doing, Christine, the print, and you're good to go, right? So there's a creative sales idea for you. All my customers have been running that sale for the last week. It's genius. No one ever does it. Like when you design a piece for its end destination, when you design a sale for its end destination, contemplate all the friction you remove from the process versus, hey, everything on my store is for sale. Have a sale. Okay, where are my walls? Do I need to put things? Am I going to get a big one or a small one? Let me go talk to my wife versus, boom, this is just for your bathroom. Instantaneously, now instead of walking my whole house going, which wall am I going to put this on? I'm like, okay, which one of my 3 bathrooms? Actually, you know what? The art in there is pathetic. She's right. I do need some art in my bathroom. And boom, you primed them and you're good to go. So it's an amazing sale idea. Amazing sale idea. So that's it. That's my rant. That's what I got.
Thanks.
Good. Yeah, I love that one. And what's awesome about that one is you can go back to the well again and again and again and again.
You're muted.
I muted myself. That's classic. The great thing about the bathroom flash art sale is you can do it again and again and again. You can run it once a month, right? Like, and it gives you a way to differentiate yourself rather than just like a store-wide sale or whatever. So, but what else, guys? Questions? Any others? Go into gallery mode. Is there anyone else that I need to pick on in here? Larry, you have a very stern-looking look. I don't know if Larry's on board with everything that I've said here today. You don't need to say anything if you don't want to, Larry. I'm just picking on you because you have an epic beard. No, I wasn't even picking on you, Larry. I was picking on Larry LaRusso. His beard game is next level on that thing. If I tried to grow mine that long, I don't even want to tell you what it looks like. It's disgusting. My wife won't allow it. So it's about as good as I get, and I need to shave currently. All right, guys. Well, we'll leave it there. In a final closing, I would say, if you haven't gone and get a demo, go and get a demo so you can see the bells, so you can see the whistles. There's no pressure. They're not sleazy salespeople. They can give you further ideas that I wouldn't give you on how to shape your business and where you need to go. And then you at least know what our entire offering is, and you know all the prices and all the bells and all the whistles and the rest. And then you can make your decision: are we a good fit? Are we not a good fit? If the timing's not right, I totally get that. Don't worry about that. But this business fundamentally is about normal marketing, sale, normal marketing, sale, normal marketing, sale. And then we get to the fourth quarter. And the fourth quarter is Q4, the last 3 months of the year. The way that we've been set up as a society, more stuff is bought in the fourth quarter than any time all year. It's huge. Our customers sell sometimes more in 3 months than they do the other 9 months combined. It's crazy. So you have to get ready. One of them is always coming around. You have to get ready. You have to start exercising these marketing muscles. You have to start working on your site. You have to start running some of these sales such that you're ready to take advantage when the most money is spent every single solitary year. So I don't do sales pitches on here. If you're not ready, you're not ready. But what I don't want you leaving here going is, yeah, I'm going to get started. You know, I'll get started soon. And, you know, this is going to be my year. And then the minutes turn into hours, turn into days, turn into months, and you've taken no forward progress in your career, right? You've got to start working on this stuff or nothing's going to change. You're here because you're unsatisfied with where the business is at currently, right? Unless you start changing things, it's not going to happen. And no, Adam, waiting for your funds to come in is not changing anything, right? It's not taking forward steps. It just isn't. So, you know, I mean that sincerely, right? Like, the sooner you get up, running, and ready, the sooner you treat the market and business portion of your business not like a New Year's resolution, where in January you're going to the gym 4 days a week, and then March comes around and you haven't been in a month, right? You know, all artists treat their businesses and their marketing and their business like the New Year's resolution, right? But when you start taking it seriously, you have the opportunity, the genuine opportunity for growth. So that's what I would say. Looks like we've got one comment on social. Go, Melina. We're down to the dying minutes here. But if you've got a question, you can go ahead and ask it. And I'm happy to answer it. And then if anybody else has any finals, you can let me know. Otherwise, I am going to send you the replay with all the links, all the everythings that we covered today, and you can certainly dive in on it, and you know, take further steps, follow up, this, that, or the other. You know, April, let's put the video on POD to the podcast that we were talking about into the show notes page too, because I think that's great. It's just a great thing to learn and a great thing to contemplate. Okay. Melina's waiting on a question. No more from the rest of you guys. I think we'll leave it there. Appreciate all of you guys for hanging on and sticking it out, and for asking the questions, and for being here. And I hope you have all wonderful rest of your days. Bye now. All right, go quick, Melina. I'm waiting on you here. All you have to do is hammer out your question. I stopped the Zoom portion of the call, but I'm happy to answer your question if you really do have it. All you got to do is just type it out, and I'm happy to do that. It's kind of cool that I can show them in here. All right, Melina. Well, you leave the comment, and I'll come after the broadcast is over, and I'll answer it for you.